Is technology harming or enhancing patient safety? I'm Harold Thimbleby, and I work in a lovely country called Wales. Here's a photograph of it. And I've been writing a book called Fix IT to see and solve the problems of digital healthcare. Here's a typical operating theatre, lots of digital gadgets in it. First, I must say, digital is amazing. Here's an example of a doctor photographing some patient records, and then they can email the patient records to one of their colleagues so the patient can get better and more rapid treatment. But on the other hand, digital has got many safety problems. In this example, what happens if the doctor photographs several patient records and gets them muddled up, and then the wrong patient information is sent to the wrong people, or if they lose their mobile phone, then they have lost confidential patient information. There are risks with digital as well as it being able to do wonderful things. To be a medic or an anaesthesiologist, you must know a lot of things. Here's the UK syllabus for anaesthesiologists. And obviously, before you go through that syllabus, you've got to get into medical school and do foundation training. Overall, in Britain, it takes 14 years to come out the other end as a consultant anaesthesiologist. Here's an anaesthetist walking in front of a ventilator. Have you thought that while you take a lot of training and qualifications to press the buttons, the person who developed the ventilator, who built it, needs no qualifications whatsoever. So that person decides what the buttons do, and that is ultimately what the patient treatment is all about. To be a healthcare developer, you need no qualifications at all. And looking at it like this, there is no syllabus for them. That you can start developing today with no qualifications, and potentially the systems you build as a developer aren't very reliable. That's why I wrote this book, Fix IT, how to see and solve the problems of digital healthcare. Here's a story from the book. Denise Melanson had throat cancer, and she was on the chemo drug fluorouracil, and in 2006, sadly, she had a fatal overdose due to a drug dose calculation error. I'm interested in this because calculations are exactly what computers are good at. Here's a page from the book. This is the drug bag that was containing the fluorouracil that Denise Melanson was given and from which the errors were made. Two nurses independently did the calculations for the drug dose she needed, and sadly, they both made the same mistake. So they agreed, but they were both wrong on this occasion. It's hard to explain exactly what the nurses did with calculators and PCs. So instead, for this talk, I'm going to choose a state-of-the-art digital system, namely one written by Microsoft, who are a world-leading developer. It's going to be Excel, which we're all familiar with, and it will make it very easy to show in this talk exactly what went wrong. And it's going to raise the question, is IT safe for healthcare? So first of all, we need the mils per hour to set the infusion pump. Here are the numbers that are on the drug bag. So you've got to take some of those numbers and do a calculation. Let's use the Excel spreadsheet. Here it is, and you can download it from the URL at the bottom of the screen. I'm going to fill it in with the correct formula for working out the drug dose in this case. You need the dose in the bag in milligrams, the duration in hours, and the concentration of the drug in milligrams per milliliter. Oh, here we go. That is the fatal error that the two nurses made. I've put in the numbers that they both entered, and we've got a dose of 28.8 mils per hour, which is too high by a long way. The reason is they have entered 4 hours, but the drug bag said 4 days. And of course, 4 days and 4 hours are very different. And that means the final rate, the calculation suggests, is a fatal dose that is 24 times too high. The correct infusion rate, if I do it like this, is 1.2 mils per hour. And the 96 hours isn't even a number on the bag, but we do get the right result. Let's start again. With no numbers in the Excel spreadsheet, Excel says divide by 0, and it's reporting an error. Fair enough. Let's start entering the numbers. 5,250 milligrams, and Excel is still saying there's an error. Fair enough. I've now entered 96 hours because I can do 4 times 24 in my head. This is not the complete data, but we get the wrong result and no warning that we haven't finished entering the data. Let's carry on and enter the concentration, and we've now got the right dose, which is obviously what we expected. But we could have made an error if we'd entered the dose a moment before. But there's some interesting things. If I make a typo, which I have here, I've entered 96H because I'm entering 96 hours, you get a bad result, fatal dose, because Excel is ignoring the 96H, and it's not even complaining about it, but we're getting a fatal result. It's possible to make typos that you can't even see, so neither you nor Excel realize that 115, which is 100 times higher than the correct dose, nobody realizes this is an incorrect dose. It's an unsafe system. Here's the drug bag in my book, and here's a suggestion. The drug bag could have said very clearly what the correct dose is. And one has to ask, why make humans do critical calculations in pressured clinical environments when computers could do them? In summary, at this stage, drug bag labels are unsafe. They weren't designed to be easy to use. And the state of the art, in this case Excel, which I've demonstrated to you, is unsafe too. But the serious thing is, if and when things go wrong, you don't know, which means patient harm can result and you won't realize. I've shown you a very simple example of Excel doing a calculation, which is what Excel is supposed to do, and it doesn't do it very well. But Excel is also used for much more sophisticated things. How about radiotherapy? Here is an Excel spreadsheet used for radiotherapy. It's got nearly 20,000 cells, and it's got over 1,000 hidden formulae. It's going to have mistakes in it. Last year, COVID testing in the UK, 16,000 COVID patient records were lost in an Excel system. The Excel had no way to check that it had got the correct data, and it made a mistake, and it didn't know it had made a mistake, and nobody realized until weeks later. Have you read Microsoft's terms of use? The EULA, the end user license agreement for Excel, has 30,000 words in it. I've read it, and here's an extract. And to make it easier to read, I'm just going to highlight a bit. Excel may not be used for commercial, non-profit, which means hospitals and other things like that, or revenue-generating activities. It may not be used for the examples I've just shown you. You can review these terms, and Microsoft says, you agree to do so. They then disclaim any warranty. Excel is licensed as is with all faults. Microsoft exclude any implied mandatory warranties, including those of merchantability, fitness for a particular purpose, or safety, unless Microsoft have at least acted with gross negligence or willful misconduct. And frankly, good luck to you if you want to argue that in court. Going back to that first picture I showed you of an operating room and an anaesthetist using all this equipment, here are the computers that you're relying on for patient care. If digital isn't spotting and helping you reduce patient harm, it is unsafe. It's interesting to compare anaesthesiologists and developers who build the systems anaesthesiologists have to use. Anaesthetic training and qualifications are hard, advanced, and they take years to get, 14 years in Britain. Developers actually decide how that technology will deliver care and, in the examples I've shown you, will deliver drugs. Developers need no qualifications or training whatsoever. You could start this afternoon developing an infusion pump or an MRI scanner or radiotherapy equipment. Unlike anaesthesiologists, if a developer makes a mistake, every bit of equipment they have made, and there might be thousands of them, can kill thousands of people. Developers, I argue, should have proper qualifications to ensure they're making safe, reliable, dependable equipment. IT needs fixing. That's why I wrote a book called Fix IT. So thank you for listening. I've given you a talk called Is Technology Harming or Enhancing Patient Safety? And I imagine you know what I think.